Hi there, it's Roddy.
Hey, Roddy, what's going on? It's Chandler Sorrells.
Hi, Chandler. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. I'm really appreciative that you are giving me your time today for this interview.
Cool, no problem.
The first question that I have is, aside from being the keyboard player from one of the greatest bands that is long overdue to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Faith No More, you are also a front man for the band Imperial Teen. How would you describe the current status as well as the future for Imperial Teen?
Well, Imperial Team, there's everyone's kind of a front person, so I don't want to mischaracterize sort of the representation of that band, but there's another guy in the band that actually sings more songs than me, so I don't want to be like the front person. That's been sort of represented that way, and it's not exactly accurate, but that's just a side note. We kind of are in the process right now. We're just finishing a record for Merge Records. We've been on the Merge label for some years now, and we're just in the process of mixing a new record that hopefully will come out in the summertime.
I saw that you have a new project called Nasty Band just today, and that is going to be released in January. Do you mind giving me the rundown of what Nasty Band is all about?
Yeah, Nasty Band is a crazy sort of, it's a loud and abrasive sort of noise art sort of ensemble. It's really unorthodox and provocative. In the band, there's there's a pair of identical twins, two guys. One plays noise samples and one plays bass. A guitar player, a drummer, and a singer who's 85 years old.
Really?
Who's he's sort of based in the noise, old school noise, New York City music scene.
That is interesting.
Yeah, I play keyboards, and then there's another element in the band, Frank, who's sort of the front person in the band, but he's just sort of more of a theatrical presence or spiritual sort of presence in the shows that we do. It's sort of crazy. It's hard to describe the overall sound, but it's really kind of original and provocative.
Do you provide any vocals for this?
No vocals.
Right on. Just as a fan, what are some of the best live shows you have witnessed just going to concerts your whole life?
I really liked the Pixies reunion at Coachella. Was really special.
Awesome.
Also, Coachella, I saw Daft Punk one year that was really phenomenal. And last year I saw Kate LeBon, and that was such a beautiful show.
That is interesting. I think Daft Punk hardly ever plays live, and it's funny you mentioned the Pixies because I was showing my wife the Seasick album today, and that's the first thing that came to her mind was that it reminded her of the Pixies with the female vocals and harmonies and stuff like that.
Right, flattering.
I was wondering if that was maybe an influence when in the beginning stages of Imperial Teen.
Yeah, for sure. I think we were really inspired by the ethic of Breeders more than Pixies, Kim in particular, her vocals, and where she went with sort of the thematics of the Breeders, bringing her sister on board, and I think we were really inspired by the Breeders a lot when we started, for sure.
Right on. In September 2017, I was really happy and lucky to see Chuck when he came to town and did a solo show, and I asked him the same question I'm going to ask you, and he said he had some things going on and he couldn't really talk about it, but I was really wondering, due to the fact that Mike Patton stays very busy with all his projects, was there ever any possible talk about you and the rest of the guys in Faith No More possibly collaborating with Chuck Mosley on vocals in the future before his unfortunate passing?
I don't think so. We did, we set out when we re-released the We Care a Lot record.
Yes, sir.
It just felt like a really special thing to sort of bring the band back together and do the shows that we did. I don't know if you know, but we did a bunch of shows around the release of that record on the West Coast with Chuck.
Yeah, one in San Francisco and one in Los Angeles.
Yeah, and that was that's what we set out to do, and even that felt like kind of a challenge at the time, like going back and sort of revisiting that. But it was really, I mean, it felt amazing. And I mean, looking back on it now after Chuck has passed away, it's like, oh, wow, that is such, like, that's a highlight of my career that we were able to, like, you know, do that and revisit that. I don't think we were so interested in exploring like another record with Chuck. I don't think that was going to happen.
Right. He told me that Billy had sent him some music a couple days ago through email, and I also read in the Small Victories book that August of that year, right before that happened, that he teamed up with Matt Wallace, and it just said to record a couple of tracks. I didn't know what these tracks would have been for, but I mean, it's just unfortunate, the timing of everything. I definitely shed some tears on that day.
Yeah, it was a sad one. It was a crazy time. Yeah, I think he was just working with Matt Wallace, you know, who had worked with us way back in the day, and it was just a comfortable place for him to go. And Matt was enthusiastic in helping Chuck and sort of helping him see through, like, but they were just Chuck songs. Chuck was just working on Chuck songs. The rest of us weren't involved.
Right on. If you don't mind me asking, in your opinion, what do you think the best solution would be to the current ongoing opioid crisis here in America?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a tough one, right?
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I have an opinion on that, honestly. I really don't know where it goes from this point.
Here in America, because in other countries like Mexico, they're trying alternative solutions like ibogaine, that's like a hallucinogenic type thing they administer to patients, and it's kind of like ayahuasca. It's supposed to apparently cure people and I think help the withdrawal symptoms, but all I know is from a documentary I've watched, and I've seen other interviews with you, and I know other people who have struggled with the same matter, so I was just wondering what you thought personally would be a solution, but I guess your guess is as good as mine.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a super dark time, right? I mean, in our country, it's super, like, it's a really intense time, like just the political climate and sort of where our government has gone. I don't know how much that sort of bleeds into sort of like what people are doing, like kids are doing in their own time with opioids and stuff, but it does seem like a really sort of like struggling generation.
Yes.
And I don't know, that's such a big picture project. I don't really know where it goes, honestly.
I hear you. Roddy, I have one more question for you, man, and once again, I really, really thank you for doing this. But
surely,
at the beginning of the year, there was a post and picture on social media of you, Billy, and Puffy going into the recording studio in Emeryville. Do you mind elaborating on what happened that day, on the new book quotes that you guys continued to work together for the next few months? What do you hope happens regarding the future of Faith No More versus what do you think will actually be the future of Faith No More? I hope we have not seen the last of you guys.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, the last record was a real struggle to make. It felt really good, and it was a really great exercise in sort of like taking us and our inner family sort of like creative process to the next level. It was a place that we kind of needed to go to make Sol Invictus. We had spent a lot of time sort of coming back together and getting to know each other again and making music again and playing old songs, and then it kind of reached a point where we were like, it felt kind of dirty to just do what we were doing, like just these shows of like old songs. So we took it to the next level, and that felt really good. I think we all walked away from that, even though it was like a really hard process to get through that record. I think we walked away from it with really positive, optimistic sort of perspectives. So like getting back together, I will periodically go to San Francisco and make music with those guys. And we do what we do. It's a really special, unique thing that we kind of share, especially like me and Mike Borden and Billy. Like,
y'all are the core. It's been y'all three since the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, that's my point. Like when we were super young, we were like, 18, 19 years old, and we started making music. So we kind of get in a room and we have a language that speaks really loud and really clear, at least to the three of us. I mean, where it goes is questionable, but we have sort of a language that's kind of undeniable, a really sort of family sense, and it's sort of, I think we all acknowledge that it's not something that any of us want to turn our backs on. and it's kind of fun to do. So in the hopes of like pushing things forward and making new music, we continue to do that, to like get together and make new sounds and like just have a dialogue about, you know, prospects and songs and where we go in the future.
Right on. So what you're saying is since the last tour ended, y'all have pretty much been jamming and toying around with stuff that y'all don't know for sure yet what might come from it. Am I correct?
Yeah, that's fair to say. Yeah, absolutely.
Right on. Well, Roddy, that is all I have for you. For everybody listening, this is Roddy Bottum, the keyboardist for Faith No More, and also composer for Imperial Teen, as well as Nasty Band. This is The Ring, The Cage, and The Stage. And once again, Roddy, I really, really thank you for your time. And I would.
Hey, thank you so much for asking me to talk. I'm happy to talk. Thanks so much.
All right, and once again, you guys put on a great show in Boston in 2015. That was the reason why I flew there, because I was born in 1991. I'm probably one of the youngest Faith No More fans out there. No one else my age really has dug into the catalog like I have, but I just want to say thank you.
Hey, thank you. Thanks for being there.
All right, Roddy, you have a great rest of the day, and
All
thank you
right.
for your time.
Thanks so much. See you later.
All right, bye.